Welcome to Amplify with White Knight Productions. I'm your new host, Maddie Tinney. At White Knight, we're all about amplifying voices through storytelling, and in this series, we're connecting with industry professionals who know how to boost messages far and wide. Today, we're thrilled to speak with Dan Grech. Dan is the founder and CEO of BizHack Academy, which trains all types of organizations, from small business startups to nonprofits to Fortune 500 companies, on the secrets of digital marketing. With an impressive background as a marketer and journalist, Dan knows all about telling a story that gets results. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So, Dan, you spent most of your career working as a journalist and a storyteller, and now you work in marketing. How are you tying those two things together, and what's the secret to telling a good story?
What I learned about digital marketing, and it's not always taught this way. In fact, often it's more taught around the technology and the tools. But what I learned is that if you don't have a great story to use the technology and the tools to tell, you're not going to connect with your potential customer. And that whether you're doing digital marketing or you're meeting somebody in person, in the end, all marketing, B2B or B2C, is H to H. It's human to human, nose to nose. And so if you're really good at talking about your business story, you're going to be successful in your digital marketing. Now, a lot of people will say, well, what do you mean by my business story? Your business story has two components, and these two components are the foundation of all of your marketing. Component number one is your story of me. What is your deeply personal reason and motivation for running your business? Why have you sacrificed so much to start and run your business? There are easier ways for you to make money. You've chosen this way. Why? What motivated you? Who taught you to care about this? That's your story of me, your deeply personal motivation. And everybody has a different motivation for the business that they started. And you need to get really good at articulating this. You also need to be able to talk about the core purpose of your company. So that's the second big element of your business story, is what change do you want to make in the world? If your business were to disappear tomorrow, how would the world be a worse place? If you can talk about the change you want in the world, your core purpose, and why you care about making that change in the world, that is your business story. That is the foundation of all of your marketing.
If someone is trying to sit down and figure out what their story is, are there certain questions that they should be thinking about and trying to answer?
Absolutely. We have a technique that we use at BizHack called the 5 whys. This is actually something I learned back when I was an NPR reporter. What I noticed is if I saw something a little odd about one of the people I was interviewing, I would ask them, well, why are you doing that? Why does that matter? Why is that important? And I would probe and I would probe and I would probe. And then at the end of the 5th why, almost magically, they would almost inevitably tell a story about their life that helped explain why they do what they do. To run a business is, by definition, a crazy act. It's an act of incredible risk and incredible hope. And to do that, to turn your life upside down, to turn your family's life upside down, there's a reason you're doing that, but not everybody's in touch with it. And so I just will dig in and ask them why and why and why. And who in your life taught you to value that? And why does that matter? It's an incredibly powerful technique. Anybody can do it. Just sit across the table and ask why.
As a video production company, we're obviously big believers in video. So what's your opinion on video marketing and the level of importance it has?
Video is the vernacular of the web. Video is how modern audiences communicate. And so is video important or even essential to digital marketing? Absolutely. It is essential that you create what we like to call thumb-stopping video. What that means is you need to capture their attention within the first 3 seconds of having the video. You need the video to be able to be effective, even if the sound is turned off, because it's often going to be defaulted off on things like Facebook. So you need video and images and text that arrest the eye and that speak directly to your ideal customer.
And when you have clients come to you and say, okay, I get it, I have to have this thumb-stopping video, but how do I do it? What do you tell them as advice to get them to understand that concept and actually go through with it?
In your mind, a video is this big. and it's going to be a huge project that's going to take months and cost you thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. And yes, that can be true. But a video for an ad that you're going to put on Facebook or Instagram or even in like Google Display can be 6 to 12 seconds long. It can be a slideshow of a couple images and a little bit of text. And it can be something that you can build to get started in a matter of 1 hour using free tools. Then, once you've started getting going with creating those videos, and once your audience has told you by watching or not watching some of those videos, then you can start investing more, engaging folks like White Knight Productions to create the high quality video that you will need in order to really take your company and take it to the next level.
And you mentioned social media is all about catering to people's short attention spans. They're on their phones. You need to get that attention in a few seconds. But have you seen longer form videos work or other multimedia like podcasts work successfully elsewhere?
The way I like to think about it is, are you speaking to your ideal customer, the type of customer that you love to serve, that makes you a ton of money, who recommends you to their friends? And then are you creating video content that speaks directly to their unmet needs and to how you can help solve those for them? If you're doing that, your videos will be successful, and you do not need to limit them to a few seconds, which is what the advertising companies recommend. Facebook, for instance, says 6 to 12 seconds is the ideal length of a video if you want people to actually watch it to completion. The other quick thing I'll say to you is, see how I'm kind of looking straight at the camera, talking at and then through the camera directly to you, business owner who's watching this? That's what you want your videos to do, is you want to reach through the camera and speak directly to the human on the other side of the lens. And if you do that and you leave that impression, oh, this guy understands what I'm going through, this person knows what I need, they're much more likely to check you out on your website, pick up the phone, call you, and ultimately hire you. So really what video is an intermediated conversation between you and the many others who are on the other side of that lens.
And the marketplace is really crowded. Do you have any tips for how to cut through the noise and differentiate yourself?
Yeah, this is a challenge for every small business because you're limited in time, you're limited in money, and of course you're limited in expertise. How do you make yourself stand out? And one of the answers you'll hear is a gimmick or a contest or a giveaway, and those can work. But we have a different answer at BizHack, and it's about telling your business story. Talking about why you do what you do and what change you want to affect in the world. If you can do that effectively, you, by definition, are going to differentiate yourself from everyone else in your category, because everybody's motivation is different and everyone else's core purpose is distinct. If it's true to you and true to yourself, it differentiates you immediately from your competition, and it allows you to then emphasize those aspects of your offering that are most unique and most aligned with your core values. So start with your business story, start with your core purpose and your why, and if you can answer that, you're going to begin to differentiate your product or service. Is that enough? Is that sufficient? No, but it is necessary. It's necessary for you to be able to say, we believe in this. You should trust me for these reasons. I'm not going to quit you. I'm not going to give up. I'm doing this for the right reasons. I have integrity. I can be trusted. Once you've established that, then you have to talk about what are your three uniques? What is the value that you're providing? How are you helping them solve their problem? What is your track record? Who else has worked with you before? What are outside experts or outside accolades that figure in to your being a successful company? Is your pricing competitive? Can I afford you? All of that is incredibly important, but if it isn't built on the foundation of your business story, it's going to be much harder to sell yourself.
If one of your clients comes to you and says, okay, people are buying my things, what now? How do I keep them coming back for more? What do you do at this point?
Well, first of all, I would applaud that business owner for even thinking to ask that question, because what I have found is that for most businesses, their entire focus is on the first sale. What I try to tell business owners is the most profitable form of marketing is to get people to buy again and to get them to refer their friends. This, in the marketing terms, is called retention of existing customers and upselling and referrals. So you really need to be thinking in terms of your marketing about how to get people delighted with your product and advocating about your product. You look at how can you inject a little bit of brand loyalty, a little bit of love, a little bit of continuity, a little bit of, how can you up that experience? So as a marketer, as a business owner, thinking about how to engender even greater loyalty in your existing customers and to upsell them in additional products and services, and then also to get them to tell their friends, has to be a core part of your marketing. And video is one of the best ways to do this. The best companies advertise and create videos that are specifically designed for their existing customers, which seems kind of crazy, but you want to invest your marketing resources, your marketing effort in your existing customer base to keep them loyal, to keep you top of mind, to get them to renew and to get them to refer. So you really do need to think very clearly, not just about new customer acquisition, which is the most expensive kind of marketing, but existing customer retention and how to build their loyalty so they're going to be willing to refer, which is much more cost effective.
Dan, you mentioned that business storytelling is the foundation of this marketing principle. So how are you seeing that work with your clients? What are some success stories that you've seen over the years?
The first person who comes to mind is Yoel Gutierrez. So Yoel and I live in Miami, and Yoel runs the local franchise of Mosquito Joe, which is a pest control company. And I remember when I first met Yoel, I said to him, Yoel, I got to be honest. The last business I would ever want to run is a mosquito control service in Miami where it's so hot, it's so muggy, and you're spending all day dealing with the most obnoxious insects imaginable. Why on earth would you ever, of all the franchises you could run, why pest control? And so he kind of didn't have a good answer for me. So then I asked him, hey, can you tell me about your dad? Tell me about your parents. Tell me about your upbringing. And he said, well, my dad was a business owner just like me. He owned a home building company, a residential construction company with two other partners. I used to go, to the sites where they were building these homes, and I would help out in whatever way I could. And I grew up in the business, and my whole life, I knew I was going to run this business. I was going to take over this business from him. And then at 16, he died suddenly, unexpectedly. And his partners bought out the business, my inheritance. And the business was gone before I'd even graduated from high school. And so my entire life, I had been planning for this to take over the family business. And then overnight, the family business was gone. I was without my dad, and I was really lost. But I knew I wanted to be a business owner, and I wanted to live that legacy and continue that legacy. And so I became a franchisee, and that's how I did it. And I said, Yoel, do you think it's at all a coincidence that your dad built homes and you're in a business where you make those homes comfortable to live in? Do you think it's a coincidence that you're in the same industry, just a different side to it? And he actually started to cry because he realized that had always been there. As long as he had been a business owner, he was motivated by living the legacy of his father and taking the inheritance and carrying it forward, and he just didn't know it. Now, years later, he's one of the top 3 franchises of Mosquito Joe. His personal story appears on the website, in his social media. It's what he uses to recruit people and bring them into the team. This is about way more than killing mosquitoes. This is about making homes that are comfortable and safe for parents and their kids, just like my dad. That is the power of business storytelling. If you heard about that story, would you have any doubt that he would do his level best to give you great service? Do you trust Yoel to protect your kids from mosquitoes, to create a comfortable outdoor space? Yes. If you can tell your business story, it will attract your ideal customer and it will make you unstoppable. That is why business storytelling is so powerful, and it's completely transformed Yoel's business.
To learn more about Dan and his business, visit bizhack.com. And to hear more insider scoops on how to amplify your story, be sure to follow White Knight Productions on your preferred social media for updates on future episodes.